Tired of your old kitchen or
Streaming
bathroom?
from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
All right, how you doing, everybody? I'm meteorologist Greg D. back with you on DPL. Dennis is off this week, so I'm filling in. Didn't know what we were going to talk about today, honestly. I thought we were going to do a Dennis Phillips style, but a couple of things came up in the newscast that I think are worth touching on. Obviously, the heat has been a big story. By the way, if you're watching, it is probably on social media. I am streaming to my Facebook page, Dennis's Facebook page, his YouTube channel. We've also got this, of course, on the Spot 66. If you're joining us there, there will be some breaks, which I have written down today to make sure that we hit all of them and kind of what we're going to do. I do invite you, though, even if you're watching on the Spot 66 or the ABC Action News Plus streaming channel on your favorite streaming device, to go in on the social media too. It's a two-screen experience, really, because I'd love to see where you guys are from. There's a whole discussion going on there. A lot of times it's over my head because I'm having to address the camera, but folks are kind of talking amongst themselves, and once in a while I kind of chime in and see what they're talking about. A lot of them, they're talking about, they're just saying hello. Hello, everybody. Hey, GDL. They're saying GDL, Greg D Live. Yeah, it is Greg D Live today on Dennis Phillips Live. We've got Prudy watching from Spring Hill, Hernando County in the house. Glad to have you with us. Anna Maria says, can I say hi? Absolutely. Lealman's watching too. All right. We got all kinds of folks chiming in. How about those thunderstorms out there today? Those are incredible. It's actually one I'm tracking right now. We're going to get into that in the local part of the forecast here coming up in about a minute. Still an active thunderstorm moving through Tampa right now. We saw a few. Of course, the big heat was the big story, but I got to tell you, what a switch of emotion today, because I woke up, started looking at the models, made this whole post. Euro's going 101 for Tampa today, the GFS 97. The patterns seem the same. All the other meteorologists on Facebook, all the Euro. By the way, the Euro in terms of our high temperatures, it's trash. I don't know where some of these meteorologists are like, this is more accurate for, no, it's not. The Euro is absolute trash for our high temperatures. I will tell you that. It's great on hurricanes. It's great on general weather patterns. It does not do, it predicts, it overdoes southern heat waves more than anything else. And sure enough, by 2 o'clock this afternoon, I checked the radar, sea breezes through the airport, immediately post, we're never going to get close to 100, and we didn't. Only made it to 95 in Tampa today, but boy, was it hot. The hottest heat index, potentially, this has to be verified, ever observed since the airport started keeping track of the heat index. At 2:35, it was 120. Around that time, at the PIE airport, the temperature was 97 with a dew point of 84. I don't know how many weather nerds out there, probably a lot. A dew point of 84 is unheard of. With a temperature of 97, that heat index for about 5 minutes, 126. Then a thunderstorm popped by nearby there, near the gateway area of Clearwater, and it cleared that out pretty quickly. But that was pretty intense. All right, let's kind of talk about what's going on here, because there is a thunderstorm going on and it's affecting a lot of folks. So I do want to get to that part of the forecast, and that is the current view. We are looking into that thunderstorm now on the weather computer. Current temperature in Tampa is still 91, but there is thunder off in the distance, and that is getting picked up from this thunderstorm. On the radar, actually, this is a change just in the last 10 minutes. Let me readjust my whole thinking here. This thunderstorm here in Tampa is now weakening. We had about 600 lightning strikes in 30 minutes, now over Carrollwood, Eastlake. It's raining, but it is not raining as heavily as it was earlier. This thunderstorm itself is weakening. We're doing pretty good. Temperatures are dropping as this rain has moved through. I just checked my my home thermometer. It went from 92 to 87 in about 10 minutes. So that's pretty good. But look what's happening off to the north and east of there, all along 301. So that's going to be through the Hillsborough River State Park over toward the Flatwoods, Crystal Springs, Zephyr Hills. This thing is right on top of you. 52, 54, 56. It is pouring out there all the way between 52 and 56 right now, up 301. So that's just between Dade City and right into Zephyr Hills. 219 lightning strikes. That's a 30-minute counter. So we're looking at about 450 an hour from these thunderstorms that continue to spread in. Let me zoom out here and show you what's going on. Actually, there's one over there towards Lakeland too, east side of town as well. The animation on this, you see the sea breeze is moving through, and that's kind of popping some of these thunderstorms tonight. Not a huge deal, but it's there. By the way, is Dennis in the chat? I just had him. He just texted me before the show started, and I told him I'm going to recall him if he starts watching the show, because he is at a baseball game right now, at a place I don't like to talk about because I don't like the team nor the fans. If he's in there, he'll tell you. But he should be watching the baseball game because that is a much better experience than watching this for sure. So there you see the wider view. Thunderstorms out towards the east, weakening up towards the north as well. The big story has been the heat, but as far as the rest of tonight, we are going to cool things off. Temperatures are going to fall back. They're going to fall back likely into at least the 70s overnight, probably some low to mid 70s with some low 80s along the coast. Tomorrow, unfortunately, we are back to the heat with temperatures in the mid 90s, some upper 90s, east of 75. It is going to be another hot one. I'm going to show you that planner for tomorrow, and we're going to talk about, you know, we're going to do that. We're going to do my favorite part. We're going to get science-y. We're going to talk about why it took so long for the Tampa airport to hit 100. What is the deal? It's all about my favorite topic, and that is geography. We're going to talk about that, some coordinates, and what I mean coming up for those of you on the spot. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back here in just about a minute and a half. Stay with us. All right, spot folks are on the break. How's everybody doing? Greetings from Ontario, Canada. Hey, Heather, how are you? Favorite diet drink, Dr. Pepper. I've got Dr. Pepper. I've got it right here. Sorry, y'all, forgot to pop it. There it is. This is actually my second one. The little cans were just not going to, one was not going to do it. I had to pregame, all right? I pregamed on the Diet Dr. Pepper. I apologize. This is my second one. I know I'm supposed to be drinking this with you, but I needed, it's really hot in the studio. I needed to cool down, and I was going to wear this jacket. It is way too hot. Is Dennis in this chat? Some of you, I heard somebody say it. He probably posted about it. He is at Yankee Stadium watching the Rays game. Now, I question, is he there for the Yankees or the Rays? Is he there for the Yankees or the Rays? What team is he there for? And would he tell us the truth? I do not like the Yankees. I also don't like the Red Sox, by the way. I'm from Connecticut. Listen, just not the nicest fan groups, okay? Just not so strongly opinionated. 20 seconds back before. He better be there for the Rays. Yeah, Julie, I know. He better be there for the Rays. We'll see. He's not in there, so that's actually pretty good. He's not answering. DPL, GDL, that's right, the Yankees. All right, we got about 10 seconds. We come back from the spot, and then we're going to talk about the Heat, and then we're going to do my favorite segment here coming up in just a minute. All right, 2 seconds. All right, for those of you on the spot, welcome back. This is Dennis Phillips Live. I'm meteorologist Greg D filling in for Dennis this week on the spot. On streaming, of course, the ABC Action News Plus streaming channel, and on Facebook and on YouTube. We're everywhere. Really getting dark and eerie here in Northport. Still hot, hot, hot. Yeah, Mary, we've been tracking some. You see the radar behind me. There was a storm near Northport. It's gone. Mary, I'm sorry. You're not going to get any rain. I don't see anything popping up. Now, Zephyr Hills, for those of you in Pasco County, if you have anybody there, yeah, it's really coming down. Let's do, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's do the double box. I want to be included with you guys. Make sure that Rays are up 2-1. Okay, Rays are up 2-1. Dennis is in enemy territory this evening. He's at Yankee Stadium. He's hopefully cheering on the Rays. Did he post a picture in a Rays jersey, by the way? Is he wearing Rays colors and Rays apparel? He's not. Anybody see that? We might have to ask for that. I want to make sure that he is wearing Rays stuff and not Yankees. All right, so we got heat advisories back for tomorrow, folks. I do want to point this out. This is a new product from the National Weather Service. That darker color there, that garnet, almost Seminole color, that's an extreme heat watch for Citrus and Hernando County. Basically, that means it's going to be hot again tomorrow. And because the heat index could approach 114, the next level up, there's now a new level. It's called the extreme heat warning. Before they issue the warning, they issue a watch to see if it's possible. That's something new that the National Weather Service is doing. Not a big deal here. It's basically going to feel like it did today. So basically want to take it easy. Heat index tomorrow, 110 to 115. This is not going to get any better. And I know that says Monday. That's actually for tomorrow. Forgot to change the title there. There you see the rain planner. We are going to get some rain. And this has been the nice part about today and about tomorrow is, yes, it's going to get ridiculously hot, but we are going to get some relief in terms of some rainfall as we go into the afternoon. Tropics looking good, by the way. We'll take a look at some of the model data if we have time towards the end of the show. That does look like we're actually going to get a bit of a break here. So as far as your planner for tomorrow, at the beaches, temperatures in the 80s. I'm going to skip past the boating forecast and just show you the hour by hour for Tuesday. So we start dry, but notice what happens here. This is what I really wanted to show you guys. Thunderstorms popping up. The I-75 corridor tomorrow. These are going to be scattered. Think 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., maybe 3 p.m. closer to the coast. And then just like today, they're going to shift east as we go into the afternoon and evening. So the rest of the evening does look pretty good. All right. You know what we're going to do. Let's switch over to the full screen for this because we gotta see it all here. We've had the heat. We got to talk about the heat here. And in order to talk about the heat, we have got to get into the right mindset. And that is, we have got to get, here we go, let's get science-y, science-y. I want to get science-y. Let's talk about the temperature. All right, here we go. You guys ready for this? I have a surprise for you, everybody. Start watching. Here we go. Oh, yeah. You guys, am I doing this right? Now, I couldn't find one that matches this correctly. I couldn't find the right pattern, but this is close enough. What do you guys think? I mean, is this like my official let's get science-y thinking cap? Is this what this is going to be? When we get science-y, this is how we're going to do it. This is a sign that we are getting science-y. All right, so let's talk about this. Hopefully this is not too distracting. Why has Tampa never hit 100 degrees? Why? I know it's cricket. Carol, it's backwards. I don't know which side is up, which side is down. I know I'm getting makeup on this thing. See, every time, all right, it's this side. So this side goes down. All right, how am I doing? All right, should it go on the ears? What's the style here? Should it go? I'm gonna cover the top of my ears. I don't know. It feels like it's kind of pinning in my ears. It's pretty good. Listen. It also came with wrist ones too. I'm not going to put those on. It's way too hot. But maybe later in the winter, we'll get the wrist ready too. All right, focus on getting science-y. I am not wearing leg warmers. It's like 78 degrees in the studio. We're having AC issues. I'm not wearing that. All right, why hasn't Tampa ever hit 80? All right, so 100. I should say 100. We've hit 80. Sometimes we don't fall below 80. The official reporting site is the airport. You guys know that, right? There's the airport right there. We're zooming in on it. Now, what you may not realize is from the south side of the airport to the north end of the runways, it is over 2 miles. Those runways are 2-mile runways. And it's all about where the weather sensor is. That's what's the issue in Tampa. I am 100% sure that the north end of the airport at Hillsborough has hit 100 degrees in the past because Tampa has hit 99 3 times. And I'm pretty sure the north side of the airport was at 100. But here's the problem. This is where the actual weather instrument is, right there. It is on the south side of the westernmost runway. It is basically one of the closest positions to water in Tampa that you can get at the airport. In fact, if you've ever come in and out of the airport, you've probably driven by this and just have never noticed it. So you kind of got to look close, but these are so here you would get on Spruce Street exit. This is that Spruce Street exit as you're exiting here, right there. That right there is the official weather reporting instrument for Tampa, and it is really close to the water. So what ends up happening most afternoons is that you get a sea breeze, and that sea breeze, one of the first things it touches is the official reporting instrument at the airport. As soon as it clears that thermometer, you're not going to hit 100. Even though it may take a few more minutes for that sea breeze to get to downtown, it may take another hour for it to reach Brandon or Riverview. But as soon as it hits that area at the airport, which is just off the water, that's it, it's done. And this is why, while I am 100% sure that most of Tampa has hit 100, maybe 101, 102 before, but because of where that instrument is and where it was placed, we just have not hit that temperature. Now, Sunday was a special day because on Sunday, we had a strong northeast wind. And that northeast wind basically locked in the sea breeze. Let me go back to that. Locked in the sea breeze right to the bay. That thing was not moving. I was watching it on the radar. It was not going anywhere. And because of that, because it didn't go anywhere, we were able to hit that crazy high temperature of 100 degrees on Sunday. It actually happened twice. At 3:30, the temperature then fell back to 97, and then it jumped back up to 100 degrees at 5:15. Just absolutely incredible that day on Sunday. How about that for being sciencey? That was pretty sciencey, right? That was a pretty good explanation. So your house has probably hit 100 before, even though the official reporting site, it's just about the location. And that record goes back to 1890, by the way. So that is a pretty long-standing record. Where is Dennis? Is he okay? Yes, Donna. Dennis has a lot of PTO, so Dennis is on vacation. Dennis probably has 7, 8 weeks of vacation. He's been here for so long, so he's going to be gone a lot. So you're going to see me here a lot. Dennis is fine. Don't worry. Well, he's a Rays fan at Yankee Stadium. How fine can you be? maybe Donna's onto something. Maybe we do need to check on Dennis's well-being and see how he's doing by the end of the game. All right, you're saying you were imitating Richard Simmons. Oh, I am recalling Olivia Newton-John. That's right. It does kind of have that feel to it, doesn't it? Hey, Jamil. Jamil's in there, too. All right, folks, on the spot, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. All right, that was break number 2. We're doing good. I'm keeping track of my breaks. We've got some time. What do you guys think? This is kind of fun. I've had this for like 2 weeks. I've been dying to break it out here and talk about this because it had to come out. Dennis, you rock. Dennis, is he there? Is Dennis here? I can't see him. People are saying Dennis, you rock, but is Dennis in the chat? I'm not sure if Dennis is in the chat. Dennis is okay. Yeah, Dennis is fine. I don't see him in the chat. I told him to enjoy the game. Peace-Ice Hail and Zephyr Hills. Oh, all right. Look at that. Very nice. Gwen, thank you so much. So this is a pretty strong thunderstorm that is popping up right now. All right, I think we're going to, what do you guys think? Should I keep this on for the rest of the show? I think we're going to take it off. I think we're just going to take it off. Did I get some makeup on it? No, that's pretty good. All right, we're gonna take that off. We got science-y for a little bit. We'll talk. I'm getting some tropical questions, so maybe we'll talk about the tropics here coming up when we come back, because that is an interesting question. So 20 seconds before we come back. The heat wave here doesn't really have anything to do with the tropics, honestly, or doesn't really mean anything for the rest of the season. I'm not too worried about it, but I think the Atlantic is going to start to get a little bit more active as we move into mid-August. All right, 3 seconds. Let's take a break. All right, if you're watching on the spot, I'm meteorologist Greg D. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Welcome back. We're going to be talking a little bit about the tropics here in this segment before I have to take another break coming up in about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll talk about. We'll just ask, maybe we'll just chat. We'll just do some questions from the chat in the last segment before we have to go. All right, so let's switch over to the internet computer. Actually, I know some of you guys, this is not your favorite, but this is not very clear, so I'm going to switch and make this the full screen so you guys can see everything. Are you going to any Bucks or Lightning game? Oh, that caught me. I have not been to a Lightning game in a long time. I probably should. I definitely want to hit up a Bucks game. Hopefully the tickets calm back down because, during Brady, That was not something I was willing to pay for, let me tell you. Let me show you what's going on here in the tropics. So by the way, the Hurricane Center, no development over the next 7 days. I just refreshed this. That forecast continues to hold. And the Climate Prediction Center, they were looking at this area up here toward maybe the northern. There's going to be a frontal system up here in the northern Gulf off the southeast coast. The models, as I'll show you, have some low pressures coming out of this, but all of them are going to be moving offshore. So I don't think this is going to be a big deal. Let me show you what the GFS is showing. So by the way, actually, let's look at the satellite picture, because I feel like you could really get a lot here by looking at the satellite. And satellites are cool. By the way, I love this satellite because you see how it gets, you see that darkness moving across the screen? That's the sun setting over the last 3 hours over the Atlantic. You can actually watch the sunset now approaching Florida. So it's moving into our area now. But you do notice it is definitely more active out here in the eastern Atlantic. A couple weeks ago when I was last with you, there were just some showers and storms out there. Now there's some clusters. So things are definitely starting to wake up. That is very much on target. As far as the models, the GFS does pull that tropical wave that's there now. So this is now Friday. And notice it is right here. So it continues to move it toward the west. And then it just kind of mixes in and kind of dissipates over the islands. And that's mainly because of shear and some drier air. The Euro does the same thing. The Euro brings that wave. So I want to show this to you. Early on, so this is Wednesday, this wave still has some pockets of some heavy rain associated with it. But sure enough, by the time you move the Euro to Thursday, Friday, notice this thing is really weak. There it is right there. There's a cloud of Saharan dust that's coming in from the east, and I think this is what it's running into as it moves north. So yes, it's looking stronger than it was a couple weeks ago. It's getting more active out there, but I'm still not seeing anything develop. By the way, the GFS has this frontal system back here off the east coast, and it's got a couple of areas of low pressure trying to form along it. I think that's what the Climate Prediction Center was forming, but all of these, they're all moving east. So they're all moving out into the Atlantic, and I just don't think any of this is going to be a big concern. Now, long term, some of the models do have a little bit more activity coming up, you know, maybe towards, I don't know, let's say August 10th to the 15th, maybe a little bit more action out there in the Atlantic, maybe a couple of more robust areas of low pressure. I'm not going to take the models out that far. I am sick and tired of looking at the Facebook, which all these armchair meteorologists, which honestly, a lot of times, these are just, they're not even meteorologists, they're weather enthusiasts. And they're showing the Euro and the GFS day after day, 14 and 15 days out. And that is just not going to be accurate. They are going to be, we're going to ban them. They should be banned from Facebook completely because there's no reliability in the models that far out. Folks on the spot, one more break, and then we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, that's break number 3, right? Everybody keeping track? Break number 3. We took break number 3 here on DPL, minute 20 left. All right, what do we got going on in the chat? Any questions? Possible La Nina this fall means more active late season. Ryan, I haven't checked the ENSO forecast, so let's actually pull that up. The last I looked, based on the forecast from Colorado State, they were calling for neutral conditions. So right now, ENSO neutral is present. The forecast says that ENSO neutral is most likely through the late northern hemisphere summer, August to October. Thereafter, chances of La Nina conditions increase into the fall and winter. So, you know, I wouldn't be concerned about that. We'll start with this slide because I think that's kind of interesting. But late in the fall, you know, if it's past October, I think this is, La Nina would be a concern for like California in a wet winter. That would be a concern. Would it be a concern for us here with the hurricane season? That late, if it gets going late October, I wouldn't be worried about it in November that much. If it gets started a little earlier, early October, maybe some impacts here. All right, let's welcome back the folks on the spot. 2 seconds. All right, welcome back. If you're watching on the spot, that was our last break. We got about 3 minutes left of the show. So I got a question here about La Nina. That's what you're seeing on the side of the screen. And I pulled up the ENSO forecast. Right now, there is no El Nino or La Nina in the Pacific. The current forecast has a neutral condition, meaning no El Nino, no La Nina through August to October. 56% chance. So it's not a sure bet, but it's more likely than not that we're not going to see a El Nino or La Nina impacting our hurricane season. Thereafter, it looks like a La Nina will develop into the 25-26 winter. I think this may be a little too late in the season to have a major impact on the hurricane season, but of course that's something we're going to have to track as you know, it could get a little active late in the season for sure. As far as the water temperatures, I know a lot of you are concerned about that. I pulled that up today. The water temperature, La Nada, Maryland. Yes, it is a La Nada right now, nothing. I know that a lot of you are thinking, okay, the water temperatures, because of this heat, have jumped up into the upper 80s and low 90s, and they have. But those temperatures could just as easily drop, right? I mean, you get a heavy rainfall, you get a couple of cloudy days with some rain, and you're going to drop those temperatures pretty quickly. Look at the mainsail. By the way, for those of you, I know these weren't Floridians, but there was a thunderstorm in Manatee County today producing 600 lightning strikes every 30 minutes. There was about 20 people in the water off the mainsail. Could not believe it. Please, please, please get out of the water when there is lightning nearby. That is way too dangerous. Wanted to show you the heat advisory. Wanted to show you this because we're not the only ones dealing with this crazy weather. This is the rest of the country. Notice it's much of the eastern 2/3 of the United States is in this crazy hot pattern right now. By the way, I probably should be putting my science-y hat on for this, but I want to show you this really quick. These thunderstorms, there's a severe weather outbreak right now happening in South Dakota and Minnesota. I'm going to be tracking these throughout the evening because I actually think there could be a derecho that forms. You guys know those large thunderstorm complexes that produce all the wind? That could form tonight and head into southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. So if you've got friends or family in that area, let them know. We're going to be watching these storms. There's already tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings coming up. All right. Oh, I'm supposed to. I see him. Salam. Ban user. I'm just going to ban that user on Facebook. Wait. 20 seconds before the show is over. We have banned somebody. We have banned somebody from the stream. All right. He's gone. He's gone, guys. Absolutely gone. And so are you folks on the spot. If you were watching and on ABC Action News Plus, thanks so much for joining us this evening. I will be back tomorrow. If you're on social media, I'll hang on for a couple more minutes. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, that takes care of the streaming, folks, and that takes care of the spot, folks. Spot 66. It's just you and me, Facebook folks. How you guys doing? Anything anybody wants to talk about? We want to talk about Salam. I think Salam was his name. I'm not sure what that was, but banned him. That was really good. That was quick. We got we got a ban in just before the show ended. Carol's pretty happy. No problem. Not only did I ban him from the chat, but I banned him from Facebook because I read that message and that was clear spam. That was I get so many of these on my Facebook page. It is crazy out there. He's gone. That's right. He's gone. Anybody have any other questions, any other issues before we kind of wrap up the Facebook segment? Cindy, what did I miss? Well, Cindy, it was hot. So then I did some exercising with a headband. We did some of that, okay, which I'm still trying to figure out how to adjust. We got science-y. We talked about why Tampa hasn't hit 100. Then we talked about some hurricanes. Then we banned the spammer, and then the show ended. So, Cindy, those are your quick notes for the show tonight. No hurricanes yet? Yeah, Heidi, you know, well, I know your husband jinxed us, but, you know, there's going to be hurricanes this season. I'm not one to tell you that there's not going to be a hurricane in the Atlantic this season, okay? I don't believe in hiding under rocks, okay? We're in Florida. We're surrounded by hot water. Hurricanes is what we get. Hurricanes is what we talk about. Hurricanes is what we track. We're going to get hurricanes. My mindset is we should be ready. Is to be ready, to always stay ahead, to know what's going on out there, to be aware. We're not going to panic. We're not going to freak out. A lot of storms go past us. I know last season was active, but these things cycle, right? You'll get a season. There was a season, what was it, 2005, 2004, where there were like 5 storms that moved through Central Florida. And then it was quiet for many years. Same thing with the Panhandle, right? Panhandle hasn't really been hit since Michael out towards Panama City and Pensacola. Houston hasn't been hit in a few years. So you get active periods and active tracks depending on how each season sets up. So I'm not too concerned about even if we get an active season, doesn't mean they're headed this way. So we're just going to keep you guys informed. I think one of my favorite parts about this team is how level-headed we all are, right? I mean, I know Denis has, don't freak out until I freak out, but that's not using that saying, but that's a way that I have, lived in my career for a long time. I really believe that the best way to treat the weather is to stay informed, to explain it. Here's what you're going to see. Here's what the storm is doing, so that you don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be afraid. My job is to provide you with all the information I have about what the weather is doing so that you can make a nice, rational decision about how to keep your family safe. And I'm doing it here in the Bay Area the last 8.5 years now for hurricanes. But, I've had 6.5 years experience in Little Rock, Arkansas, tracking tornadoes, devastating tornadoes out. People watch and take those precautions and take the correct actions to keep themselves safe. Did that in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. Spent a couple of years there for winter storms. My goodness, the lake effect snow. They warned me about that. But there's no textbook you can read. There's no blurb on the internet, a video that prepares you for, number one, forecasting lake effect snow, and then being in one of those snow bands. I got to tell you, a lot of folks, I know they chase tornadoes. They want to see a tornado. Go up to upstate New York, western Pennsylvania, or northeast Ohio, and try to put yourself in the path of one of these lake effect snow bands in a way where you don't have to travel through it or to it, just so you're staying put where it is. It's like a snow hurricane. It's just unbelievable. I'm sure there are some of you here that are from the Great Lakes area, the Midwest, maybe Ohio, Pennsylvania, western New York, and when you get one of these bands, it is a whiteout. It's horizontal snow. Then there's the lightning. And then there is something about lightning in snow, the way the snowflakes reflect the light and how bright it turns outside. It's like lightning you've never seen before. And you can get that continuously in some of these bands. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, everybody. That was my soliloquy to get Shakespearean here for the end of the show. Anybody have any questions, any issues? Can you help us with the current radar? Yes, I can. I see a lot of folks are asking about the radar. Let's talk about the radar. Let's see what's going on here. So let me switch over to the other show here. Look at the view from Tampa. Isn't that crazy? Literally, there was a thunderstorm in this view about 15, 20 minutes ago, and now it's gone. Actually, let me see if I can. I don't know if it's going to let me, but let's see if I can adjust this camera on the fly, because there is a chance. Did I get that password right? Nope. Stand by. Hold on, guys. I can't talk. Yes, I got the password right. Okay. Let me log in here. There's a rainbow possibility here. I don't think we're going to get one. The sun is setting right into this rain cloud. I thought maybe the way the sky was looking. No, there's no rainbow out there tonight. All right, let's talk about the radar. There is basically one giant thunderstorm right now, and it is right over eastern portions of Pasco County. It is basically right over 301. Lacucci, Dade City, Zephyr Hills, and now into Wesley Chapel. So Wesley Chapel looks like it's raining at the Grove. It's raining down towards the outlets. So 56, 54, 52, all getting rain. You're really going to have to go up to Ridge Manor in Hernando County to find any kind of dry weather with this. So you guys see here, a heavy storm that is moving through. Martha, where are you located? You said in Tampa. Where in Tampa are you located? Because the radar here Well, there is still rain in northern Hillsborough County. So, if you're saying, Pebble Creek, Tampa, New Tampa, yeah, it's still raining up towards Thornado, Sassa, maybe, or just north of there. It is raining down 301 into Hillsborough County. Absolutely, still coming down. Yeah, Wesley Chapel. Yeah, I see you, Martha. Heavy storm, but it's not severe. So this is just. And I had a question. I actually had a question from someone in Gulfport today. He messaged me and he's like, "How is this not severe? I just lost power." Well, you lost power because of lightning. It can't be a thunderstorm without lightning. Literally, the definition of a thunderstorm is rain with lightning. So just because there's a ton of lightning doesn't make it severe. It's the wind and the hail that really makes it severe. So the way this is moving, I'm going to put this into motion. It's kind of complicated because the mechanism that's getting the storm started is moving east. It's the sea breeze. But once the storms go up, the winds are blowing them back to the south and west. So the wind at the surface is doing this. The wind at the top of the storms is doing that. The winds are in completely different directions depending on how high you go in the atmosphere. My favorite thing I tell the kids, because I love food, is the atmosphere is like a lasagna, and it's layered. And a lot of times we think just because we're standing where the noodles are that it's noodles all the way up, but it's not. There's a layer of meat and cheese and veggies and more noodles and more meat. Every layer is different, and just because it's hot and clear here doesn't mean it's hot and clear above us, and doesn't mean the wind is even blowing in the same direction. It is wild what the atmosphere can do, and with the sea breeze, you're getting a southwest wind at the ground, while above you, the wind is from the northeast. And that's why the storms are going up, the clouds are going up, and then they're getting blown back toward Tampa. So the storms at Dade City and Zephyr Hills are getting blown back towards 75. Even though new storms are now going to start developing into Sumter and northern Polk County. So southern Sumter, northern Polk is about to get more storms. You look at that area north of 98. So our next area of storms is going to be right here. Back here. And there's already one forming right there. This is probably the beginnings of more storms. But they're all going to head back towards Pasco County. So hang in there, Pasco County. They are moving southwest very, very slowly. But they're also weakening as they move southwest, Martha. So it's not that simple. These are going to weaken as they go southwest past 75. Though the rain is making it west of 75, the thunderstorm, the heavy core of the storm is not going to. It's going to stay east of 75 toward 301, and eventually it's going to shift into Polk and Sumter County. And actually, probably in the next hour, these will just start to die out completely because we're losing the sun out there. Man, a lot of you are sticking around. Do you mind checking for rotation? Actually, Martha, I have the rotation detector on. I can turn on the full sensitivity, and you see nothing is popping up. Let's see. Any kind of rotation here right now. So there's nothing here that I'm seeing that is showing me or making me think that there is any kind of rotation associated with this. And I can look at the National Weather Service colors here. There's actually not even like a ton of wind. I mean, there's a little bit of wind here around St. Leo, but the radar is only picking up 20, 25 mile an hour winds here. So, yeah, this is not a tornado. This is not going to be a tornado. This is just a loud thunderstorm. And remember, just because there's a lot of lightning doesn't mean it's strong or there's rotation. In fact, it's kind of interesting. A lot of our thunderstorms here in the winter months, especially. I want lasagna too, Amanda. Actually, I just saw. Did anybody make this? Sorry, getting sidetracked. This is so DPL. I saw a recipe on Instagram, probably because it heard me talk about lasagna. It showed me an ad for a lasagna soup. Has anybody made lasagna soup? Man, it looked good. It looked so good. I think that's the way I want to have the lasagna, just because it seemed so much easier to make. Lasagna is a lot of work, and it's so much baking, heating up the house. I know soup is kind of a cold weather thing, but listen, I'll just turn the AC down and enjoy a lasagna soup. I don't have a I don't have a 10-day weather forecast. I saw that request there. I've got the 10-day temperature forecast. Is that what you wanted to see? There you see it. Typical July and early August. it ain't doing nothing. I mean, the temperatures, you know, they can move around a little bit, but basically we're going to stay just a little bit above average. Kind of later into August, that after the first week of August, the temperatures pull back a little bit. I think that has to do with a lot of the Saharan dust kind of starting to wane in the Atlantic, and we're just going to probably get more storms. Remember, August, that's one of our wettest months. So if we were to return to normal, I would expect more clouds, more rain, temperatures probably to pull back into the low 90s and upper 80s because we're going to have to get a lot more rain. Lasagna soup is really good. It's easy to make lasagna in an Instant Pot. Oh, Terry, tell me more. Because we have 2 Instant Pots at home. So you guys know Vinny's Brazilian. And basically, there needs to be a constant supply of rice and beans at the house. Brazilians make pinto beans, so we make pinto beans and brown rice, and we often make it at the same time. So one pressure cooker has the beans in it, the other one has the rice in it. I would love to make a lasagna in an Instant Pot. I have to look at that. Wow, Wyatt. I might have to put on my headband back on for this question. Dennis mentioned how the heat index shot up to 117 earlier due to the sea breeze increasing. Wyatt, let me tell you something. You think that was Dennis. Here's a little inside baseball. That was me. Sometimes when you see us post, we are all able to post on each other's Facebook pages. Allie, Jason, myself, and Dennis. So when Dennis is on vacation, you see all those weather graphics posted. That's some of us posting. So I made that post, Wyatt. If you see posts on Dennis's Facebook page between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., that's me. That's likely me. And then when you see posts on my Facebook page after 8 p.m. during the week, that's Dennis. So we always have each other's. We want to make sure that the whole team is always spreading out the weather information for everybody. How much of an impact does this onshore flow have on increasing dew point? Absolutely. So the reason why we had the dew point go up is because of that sea breeze. So the sea breeze is a push of wind off the water, and you know, water just evaporates moisture into the air. So as soon as you get a wind off the water, the dew points go up. So that is typical. That is one of the reasons why we hit 100 on Sunday, is because the wind was from the northeast off the land. And that allowed the dew points to stay a little bit lower. Not by much, but it was able to lower them enough and keep that humid air. Humid air, with a dew point of 84, it would be very hard to reach 100 here. The more humid the air is, the more slowly it warms and cools. So to get a really high temperature here, you would really need a ton of dry air, or some drier air. You guys notice how here in the summer we go from 82 in the morning to 92, only a 10-degree difference. But in January, we could start at 45 and end at 80 in the afternoon. It's because the air is dry. If the air is humid in January, we're never going to have that big of a difference. As soon as the humidity increases in January, our afternoon temperatures may not go up, but our morning temperatures shoot way up because humid air just doesn't cool. Man, we are really getting very, very, lasagna soup. Hold on, Donna. I'm clicking on, is this for, there's dollops of cheese. Is that ricotta? What is in there? Oh my goodness, that looks so good. All right, okay. I clicked on Donna's recipe. Dennis is on vacation, y'all. Dennis is on vacation. Pressure cooker recipe. Oh, there he is. Okay, so this was from Terry. Terry, I got your recipe. Oh my goodness. It starts with the word mouth-watering. How could I not? Dr. Pepper. Oh, Ryan, I'm about to ban you. Any heat lightning? No, there's no heat lightning. All right, kids. I'm hungry. We've been talking about lasagna. There's rice and beans waiting for me at home, and my dog Cookie and Vinny. So I'm out. This was fun. This was the longest we've gone in a while. I will be back here tomorrow. So you guys have a wonderful night. Anything pops up with these storms, obviously I'm going to post the warnings on all the pages, but I think we're good. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for sticking around. This was awesome. Glad to have you guys here. And